They said no one could survive that extraction zone. The enemy had surrounded the valley. Visibility was near zero, and even the most seasoned pilots refused to fly. But when the SEAL leader barked, "Get me a pilot who's not afraid to die," a quiet voice answered, "Sir, I'll take the sky." No one expected her to step forward. No one knew that within the next hour. Her courage would redefine what leadership truly means. Before we begin this incredible mission story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to her mission diaries for more real stories of bravery, sacrifice, and the unseen heroes who wear silence like armor. Now, let's step into the storm. The base was in chaos. Dust whirled through the Afghan mountains as comms crackled with broken voices. A SEAL team was pinned down behind enemy lines after an intel mission went wrong. They'd been surrounded for 16 hours, low on ammo, and their extraction bird had been shot out of the sky. Command had already lost 2 pilots trying to get close. Inside the tactical tent, the air was thick with tension. The SEAL leader, Commander Briggs, slammed his fist on the table. "I need a pilot who won't flinch," he growled. "Someone who can fly into hell and bring my men home." Silence filled the room. Everyone knew what that meant. It was practically a suicide run. The terrain was impossible, the anti-aircraft fire relentless, and nightfall was closing in. Then, from the far corner, a quiet voice spoke. "Permission to volunteer, sir." Heads turned. Standing there was Captain Amelia Rhodes, the only female combat pilot on base. Her eyes were steady, her uniform smudged with grease from hours spent maintaining her own bird. She wasn't known for words. She was known for results. Briggs stared at her, disbelief mixed with concern. "Rhodes, you've seen the situation report?" "Yes, sir," she said calmly. "And I've also seen what happens when we stop trying." The room went dead silent. Against every instinct of reason, Briggs gave a slow nod. "You have clearance. God help you, Captain." Within minutes, Amelia was in her cockpit, a Black Hawk armed and ready. The rotors screamed to life as night swallowed the horizon. Every soldier on the base stopped what they were doing to watch that helicopter rise. As the bird lifted, she whispered under her breath, not to anyone but to the memory of her brother, who had fallen in a mission 2 years earlier. "This one's for you." The radio crackled as she entered the mountain pass. "Rhodes, this is command. You're off radar." "Stay sharp." Her heart pounded, but her hands were steady. She knew fear, but she'd learned to fly through it. The sky was her battlefield. Tracer rounds cut through the air as she dipped between ridges, her eyes scanning for the extraction zone. Then she heard the SEALs on comms, their voices strained. "We see your bird, ma'am. You're coming in hot." Amelia didn't respond. She was too focused, too locked in the rhythm of survival. She flared the chopper down, blades kicking up dust, bullets pinging against the armor. The SEALs sprinted through chaos, one by one diving into the bird, but just as the last man climbed aboard, an RPG exploded nearby, rocking the chopper sideways. Warning lights screamed. Systems were failing, and then a voice over the radio. "Rhodes, pull up! Pull up!" She didn't. She steadied the controls, exhaled once, and whispered, "Not without everyone." The next moments were pure chaos. Smoke poured into the cabin, and the smell of burning fuel filled the air. One rotor blade had taken a hit, spinning the chopper into a violent tilt. Inside, the SEALs held on for their lives, shouting coordinates, shouting prayers, but Amelia's hands were steady, her eyes laser-focused. "Stay with me," she said over the comms, her voice calm against the storm. "We're not done yet." Every instinct told her to abandon the flight, eject, save herself. But that wasn't who she was. She'd learned that leadership wasn't about survival, it was about service. Somehow, through sheer skill and defiance, she managed to level the bird enough to skim over the ridge. The mountains fell away beneath them, and for the first time in hours, the stars broke through the clouds. "Command, this is Falcon 1, she gasped into her mic. "Package secured." "Coming home," the base erupted in cheers. But Amelia barely heard them. Her vision blurred from smoke and exhaustion. The controls were sluggish, the engine coughing its last breath. When she saw the base lights flickering below, tears stung her eyes. She'd made it, almost. "Falcon 1, you're coming in too fast," a voice shouted. She didn't respond. She cut the power, braced the stick, and brought that dying helicopter down in a crash landing that shook the earth, but no one on board was lost. When the dust settled, silence fell. Then the back hatch opened, and one by one the SEALs stepped out alive. Commander Briggs ran forward, disbelief written across his face. "You're insane," he said, breathless. "You just did what every other pilot said was impossible." Amelia, covered in smoke and ash, simply removed her helmet and said softly, "Sir, you asked for someone who wouldn't flinch." The SEALs stood in stunned silence before breaking into applause. Some were crying. Briggs just nodded, a rare smile cutting through the exhaustion. "You just redefined what courage looks like, Captain." From that day forward, her name became a legend whispered in hangars, spoken with pride. Not because she was fearless, but because she flew anyway, and that was Captain Amelia Rhodes, the pilot who flew through hell and came back with every man alive. If her courage moved you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to her Mission Diaries for more true stories of women whose strength rewrote history. Because sometimes, the quietest voice in the room is the one that changes everything.